When you think Mercedes-Benz, you think luxury, prestige, parking that vehicle in your driveway and showing your neighbors you've made it, or at least have a generous bank manager. But affordability and Mercedes, two words you don't usually find in the same sentence, right? Well, they do have the smart car, and they do have the B-Class as Mercedes attempts to reach out to us common folk. Well, this week, we're along the Potomac River just outside of Washington, D.C. to check out the all-new CLA, another bargain basement Mercedes at a starting price of only $34,000. And like its older sibling, the CLS, the CLA may come with 4 doors. Hey, but they're not calling it a sedan. Mercedes calls it a coupe. Those crazy Germans.
We started the trend with the 4-door coupes in CLS, a style that's been imitated by others now, and we wanted to take that into a new segment now. We wanted to introduce that concept to buyers that maybe haven't looked at a Mercedes-Benz before, and we want to do that this year with the CLA. We definitely see it as entry luxury, and that doesn't mean that you can't be a premium product, and we will always be the premium product in any segment we compete in. And with the CLA, it's allowed us at a lower price point to give people a Mercedes-Benz experience, and again, we want people in dealerships that we haven't seen there before.
Future belongs to those who will have every car on every market to cover the whole bandwidth of what's available. So Mercedes knows this, BMW is going there, Audi already has Volkswagen who takes care of this. So basically you're coming up with price point that will appeal to the common folks. The backside of this is the fact that you will see another kind of clientele at Mercedes dealers. Now, is that the people they want? That's the question they'll have to answer in the near future.
We start with the CLA 250 at $33,900. That has our 208 horsepower, 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. And then we go up to the CLA 45 4MATIC AMG, which, again, exciting new all-wheel drive addition to our AMG lineup at $49,800. It's a 355 horsepower out of a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, 26 pounds of boost, and is the highest performing 4-cylinder engine in series production in the world today.
I'm surprised to see a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo with 355 horses. It's quick, it's there, very well made. I'm impressed. It is as good as other product with 6 or 8 cylinders.
The closest I could think that it compares with is something like a Subaru STI. Now, I don't know that that particular demographic is looking towards a Mercedes-Benz. That demographic tends to be young. They tend to be fairly hip kids. They tend to think that their dads drive Mercedes-Benzes. They drive STIs. But if Mercedes can make this case to those people, then all of a sudden they've got an icon in the lower, richer, younger demographic, which is what they're really aiming for here.
The interior on the CLA feels like, well, it feels like a Mercedes, a real luxury interior. The seats, they're very firm yet comfortable. One thing I do like about this vehicle, in fact, Mercedes, is that in this age of the push-button ignition where you have to find a place for your key, usually in your pants pocket, Mercedes has stuck the key where it belongs, in the ignition. Another thing these crazy Germans have stuck with, an old relic from the past, an ashtray and lighter. Now, speaking of the interior, one thing about this vehicle is you find, unlike its older siblings, that on the road you do hear a lot of road noise. But remember, this car is based on the B-Class platform.
Well, it's clearly a B-Class architecture, and there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody's been sharing platforms because that's the only way you can expand your model line in today's market.
When Mercedes came out with the CLS and called the 4-door a coupe, it did get criticism for what some called the arrogance of calling a sedan a coupe. Well, sit back here. I'm 5'8". I know I look taller, but my head is flush against the roof. Any taller than me, and you're not sitting back here. So yes, on the outside with 4 doors, it's a sedan, but Mercedes is right. Inside, it feels like a coupe.
From what I've seen, This product is legitimate. It's a Mercedes product.
The appeal of the brand is undeniable. Mercedes has been there for a long, long time. They have a strong reputation. And if you can buy a Mercedes-Benz for $33,000, $34,000, then you say, okay, I could buy a Honda for $42,000, and maybe the Mercedes is starting to sound like a pretty good deal.
With the CLA, Mercedes is hoping to spread the net, attract new customers on a budget, but who've always wanted to own a Mercedes. And I know this vehicle shares the same 3-point star as other vehicles like the S and the E-Class. However, that is about it. Those cars are in a different league, but that was the plan. And I know that the CLA shares a lot of physical components with the B-Class. However, I believe this car has its own DNA, its own distinct and I would say agreeable personality. And when you think about it, whether it's a Mercedes or a Kia, isn't that all we want in our vehicles? So there you go.